A brutal werewolf is carving a path of terror through Europe's most famous cities, leaving bodies in places that should feel safe and bright. I'm a werewolf hunter, and I've seen monsters before, but this one is different. Smarter, faster, and driven by pure hunger. From Paris to London to Rome and beyond, every clue pulls me closer to a final meeting under the full moon. The question is not whether I can find the beast. The question is what it will cost when I do. Chapter 1. Blood on the Seine. Paris was supposed to be lights and romance. That night it was only rain, sirens, and a smell that never leaves your nose once you learn it. Fresh blood on cold stone. I followed the river until the crowd thinned. Under an iron bridge, the police had formed a loose circle. A sheet covered what was left of a man. The sheet did not fully hide the shape. Nothing about the shape looked human anymore. A young reporter stood behind the line, hugging a notebook to her chest like it could protect her. Her name was Camille Renaud, and fear had made her eyes sharper than any camera. "This is the third one," she whispered when the officer turned away. "All near the water. All on nights like this." I didn't need her to finish. I could see the marks on the stone. Deep, curved gouges. Not a knife. Not an animal. Something that used hands like hooks. The inspector, Henri Valois, pulled me into a small office that smelled of old paper and smoke. He didn't ask what I was. He only asked if I could stop it. I placed a single silver bullet on his desk. "Tell your men to stay indoors on the next full moon," I said. "And if you hear howling, don't follow it." Outside, the wind shifted. For a moment, I thought I saw a tall shape moving in the fog near the riverbank. Too upright to be a wolf, and too fast to be a man. That was my first glimpse of the thing I had crossed an ocean to find. Chapter 2. London, where the shadows run. The killings moved like a disease. Paris went quiet, and London started screaming. Fog wrapped the streets near the old bridge, turning lamps into pale coins of light. I found the next scene in a narrow lane. Torn cloth snagged on a nail, blood washed thin by rain, and bricks scored by claws. A scholar named Elias Mercer met me in a pub with low beams and nervous patrons. He slid old pages across the table. Stories, sketches, warnings from another time. "It's not only hunger," he said. "Some of the old accounts describe cruelty. It plays with people. It leads them where it wants." That matched what I'd seen. A normal beast kills and feeds. This creature left bodies displayed like messages. Near midnight, I heard it. A long howl that rose and fell like laughter. I ran onto the rooftops, boots slipping on rain-slick slate. The full moon hung above the city like a spotlight. Ahead of me, the werewolf leapt a gap that would have killed any man. It turned its head midair and looked straight at me, eyes burning with a cold, smart hate. I fired once. The shot sparked off a chimney, and the creature vanished into the fog. Then it came back. Not from the front, from the side, from the dark corner my eyes had ignored for half a second. Claws hit brick where my throat had been. I stumbled, felt hot breath, smelled rot and wet fur. I shoved my revolver between us and fired again. The werewolf recoiled, not wounded, but surprised. IT could be driven back. That was something that IT left me with a deep slash across my coat, and one clear thought pounding in my head. It was learning me. Chapter 3. Rome, under broken angels. By the time I reached Rome, the newspapers had started calling it a traveling nightmare. Tourists read the headlines and laughed like it was a story invented to sell ink. They didn't hear the screams behind closed doors. The tracks led me through a side street, near ancient stones where the air held heat even after dark. In the dust I found prints the size of dinner plates, pressed deep like the ground itself feared the weight. Elias had connections. He brought me to a small workshop where the furnace glowed and silver scraps waited on a table. I melted what I had left and made more bullets. Each one had to be clean, Each one had to be true. That night, I saw the werewolf in a plaza with a famous fountain. The water shivered as if the creature's presence changed the air. It stood upright, shoulders high, hands ending in black claws. Blood shone wet along its fingers. It didn't run. It didn't need to dut. We faced each other across open stone. I lifted the revolver, and it tilted its head like it was curious. Then it smiled. A real smile, stretched across a muzzle full of teeth. It rushed me. We crashed into a narrow stairway between tall buildings. I fired, and the shot broke stone. The werewolf slammed me against a wall, so hard the world flashed white. Its claws raked my arm, and pain poured down to my fingertips that I jammed my elbow into its throat and shoved away. It landed light as a shadow and watched me, breathing steady, as if this was fun that I escaped by dropping down into an alley too tight for its shoulders. When I looked back, it was already gone, but I and my hotel room, I reloaded with hands that wouldn't stop shaking. Not from fear, from anger. This wasn't a curse wandering blind. This was a killer choosing cities like trophies. Chapter 4. Prague and the Cathedral of Cold Light. The trail ended where old streets twist like knots. Prague wore history on every wall, and at night the buildings seemed to lean closer, listening. Camille found me again, of all people, stepping off a train with a folder of clippings and a face that had stopped pretending this was only a story. She shouldn't have been there. She knew it. She came anyway. Inspector Valois had followed too, stubborn and exhausted, driven by guilt for the bodies left behind in his city. He pointed toward an archway where the lamps dimmed and the air smelled like the river. We entered a cathedral that felt colder than the night outside. Candles trembled without wind. The stone floor bore scratches that looked like someone had tried to carve their way out of the earth. Then we heard the sound that turns blood to ice, a slow, heavy breath in the dark. We ran to the riverbank when screams broke out. Fog rolled off the water in thick sheets. And there it was, crouched over a fallen man, feeding with messy greed that I raised my revolver. The werewolf lifted its head, mouth red, and stared at me as if we were old friends meeting again. It didn't flee. It charged. I fired. The shot hit, and it flinched, not like before. This time it felt it. It snarled, loud enough to shake birds from the trees, and slammed into me. We hit the stone steps. My revolver skittered away. Camille screamed my name. Valois tried to pull her back. The werewolf turned toward them, and for a second, I saw the choice in its eyes. It could kill them easily. It wanted them to watch. I grabbed the revolver, rolled, and fired again. The creature snapped its head toward me, furious now, and leapt into the fog, disappearing between the buildings. And a basement hideout beneath an old building. Camille wrapped my bleeding arm while I loaded the last of my silver bullets. The map on the wall was a web of cities and deaths. "There's a pattern," she said quietly. "It's not running. It's going somewhere." I looked at the moonlight leaking through the window. Then we meet it there. Chapter 5. The Ruined Chapel and the Silver Revolver. The final trail led beyond the last street lamp to a forest where the trees stood bare like crooked fingers. Fog clung low to the mud. Bones lay near a tree, cleaned too well. Elias came with a lantern, though I told him not to. He said some stories end better when someone bears witness. Camille stayed back at the forest edge, eyes shining with fear and stubborn hope. We found the ruin just before midnight. A stone chapel with a collapsed roof and broken pews. Moonlight poured through the open top, turning dust into drifting stars. The werewolf waited inside. It stood among old stains and torn cloth, as if it had made the place a nest. Its eyes tracked every small movement. Its mouth curled with the same cruel amusement I'd seen in Rome. I stepped into the doorway and raised my revolver. The creature rushed me, faster than thought. Claws flashed. I felt the air move where my face had been. I fired once and hit stone. The second shot grazed fur, and the werewolf roared, not in fear, but in rage at being touched. It slammed me onto the cracked floor. Its weight crushed the breath from my chest. Teeth snapped inches from my throat. I forced the revolver up between us. Barrel pressed into its ribs. The werewolf froze, eyes widening, sensing what the metal meant. That I pulled the trigger. The silver shot hit deep. The creature shrieked, a sound that didn't belong to any living throat. It stumbled back into the moonlight, dark blood spilling onto old stones. It tried to rise again. Pride or hate, I couldn't tell. Maybe both. I followed into the clearing behind the chapel, where fog rolled across flattened grass. The full moon hung huge overhead, bright enough to show every tremor in my hands. I aimed carefully this time. No panic, no waste. The revolver bucked. Silver did what silver was made to do. The werewolf's strength broke like a snapped chain. It collapsed into the wet grass, twitching once, then going still. The forest held its breath, and then, at last, the night grew quiet. At dawn, I sat on a fallen log with the empty casings at my feet. Camille stood in the distance, watching the ruined chapel like it might move. Elias lowered his lantern, face pale. Europe would wake up and read new headlines. They would argue about what really happened. Some would call it a wild animal. Some would call it a madman. I knew the truth. And I knew there would always be another story somewhere out in the dark, waiting for the next full moon. If you enjoyed this horror story, subscribe to the channel and activate notifications so you don't miss the next one. Give the video a like if it kept you on edge, comment with your favorite chapter, and share it with a friend who loves werewolf and supernatural horror.